Oh, what a friggin' week. I need to get over some bad vibes. Let's do some painting. Hello everyone, and welcome to the voiceover portion of this video. As usual, we're going to be starting off in my Fabriano 1264 mixed media sketchbook, size 11 by 14. This sketchbook is a classic, and this particular one is just about used up in its entirety. I already have the next one sitting down waiting for the chance to jump off of the bleachers and show the world what it's made out of, but until then, I'm just going to use up the last of this one. It's got all these fine stickers on the front of it, and it's just been a treat to me. I love it so much. I gotta say, the mixed media paper is a sight nicer to use than the pastel paper that I have. The pastel paper is far too textured for what I like to do with it. I like to kind of like mush it all around with my pastel and get it all mixed together, and you can't really do that on such a bumpy surface. Not to mention the paper is about half the thickness of the multimedia paper. As usual, we're doing the sketch of this painting in a Crayola Eraseable, nice bright orange. I do like these pencils very much. And you can see my little kitty watch going on there. It's a cheap one from Superstore. It's not really as good as it looks. It's kinda... I mostly bought it because of the ears, to be honest. But this face is going to be a very silly face. As I said before, I've had kind of a rough week. Not gonna go into specifics, but it was a very expensive week. I'm feeling very grateful to be starting a full-time job pretty soon. So just gonna get on and, oh, I guess we're flipping pages right now. We're looking at some old stuff. Looking at some monkeys and some old men. Guess I gotta kill a little bit more time before the start of the pastel drawing. So let's talk a little bit about this job that's coming up. This job is a full-time gig at an art store in the city of where I live. And it's gonna be mostly back work, but it's a pretty small store. It's not a corporate store, it's a locally owned shop. So it's gonna be a many hats kind of deal. Lots of back work, lots of front work, just kind of going where the wind takes me. And so because of this, I feel like, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna do a lot more reviews on this channel. Having access to all of that stock at a place that I'm going to every day anyway, might as well, hey? So whatever's on sale, expect it to end up on the channel. Okay, going in with some purple to start. I am, of course, using my Mungyo Gallery Extra Soft Oil Pastel 72 set. That is starting to be a little bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Getting to be a little bit too long. I think what would be a nice change of pace is simply letting the video vibe for a little bit and kind of cut back in later when it's a little bit more done. So, I'll see you on the other side of this break. Alright, and we're back. So, this particular transition from the brightly lit cheek down to the darkly lit side of the face under the cheek, I don't even know what that part would be called, maybe the jaw, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that I always enjoy rendering these changes of planes in a very soft way. It's kind of my deal, it's kind of why I do pastels. It's very hard to do a hard edge in pastels, it always gets a little gummy, and quite frankly, you gotta work around that. There we go, the purple's coming in a little bit earlier than I thought it might. To be honest, I'm not really quite sure what's going on with the chin. It kind of looks like purple stubble at the moment, and I feel like I fix that eventually, but until then, you just gotta look at it. That's just all there, you just gotta look at it. Finally working my way back up to the left eye. So the thing about eyes is that they are primarily what draws your attention on the face. And so I try to render my eyes in the most maybe not the most realistic because I still use pretty funky colors a lot of the time, but I try to use the most, contrasting colors, bright colors. You can tell that the colors that I use to rim the eye are a lot darker a lot of the times. That is partly because of the shadow there, but also partly because it's just an eye catcher. If the rest of the face is in pastels and then your eyes are in bright colors, then it's gonna attract it and it's gonna lead the eyes inward. I think I'd like another vibe session. I'm kind of digging the music here and I would like to just kind of like sit and appreciate it for a little bit. So with this forehead drawn, I kind of want to talk about my relationship with greens and yellows. As I see it, green, at least like a minty green, is a very close color to a yellow. It's very much a sister color in my eyes. I don't know, there's a lot of bleed through in the colors. I can, sometimes you look at two colors and you're like, how are you the same material? But then you look at two colors and you're like, okay, yeah, no, I can see the family resemblance. Yellow and green are kind of like the second group for me. And so a lot of times in my art, I like to use green as instead of being a green, I like to use it as like a cooler yellow. I don't know, it's probably weird. It's probably not the correct way to look at colors, but it's how my brain do the thing. And then we got the ears. I never liked the ears. I'm not very appreciative of the way ears look on someone's face. Quite frankly, I would rather we just have smooth holes like lizards. But we don't, and so as a portrait artist, I have to include them against my will. People don't like to be drawn without ears. It's very disconcerting, but I'm just gonna let it vibe a little bit while we do the ears, and then we'll come back afterwards. So this neck, I felt like, because of the way I see green and yellow as very similar colors, it kind of felt a little samey to me. So screw it, let's throw in some blue. So the neck is blue and the shirt is blue. That's not gonna come back and bite me at all. This is my process. I very rarely plan things out in advance. I mostly just look at something and honestly, I'll start with the color of the eyes. I'll say, for example, this one, I wanted the eyes to be purple, and then everything just kind of like goes from there. So with purple eyes, you need like blue sclera, and then to offset the blue sclera, you might want pink and red around the rims of the eyes, and then kind of want to blend that into orange, and then the cheeks are very well lit, so they get yellow, and then the undersides of the cheeks are green, and it flows. It's like a stream of consciousness. It's colorful word vomit. I don't know what I'm saying. Starting to get into some touch-ups here. I felt that the tongue, that is a tongue, that's not just like a really googly looking lips. It's they're sticking their tongue out. And I wanted it to be a little bit more distinct, so I'm adding some purple around it and just kind of making it pop a little bit more. Oh, almost forgot the shirt. So that is okay. So it's technically a gray, but it's a very blue gray. I would argue that is in fact a more blue than gray, but the color on the stick says gray, so we're gonna say it's gray. And with that, we're getting into the background, so we're just gonna have one last little vibe session, kinda just say goodbye to this beautiful music that I have. I don't know what kind of music it is yet, I haven't decided yet, but we're just gonna enjoy it one last second, and we're gonna say goodbye to this piece. That's it, we're done, that's the end, goodbye. So there you have it. Some goofy faces to wash away the bad vibes. Like I said in the video, I will be starting a new job, and that means that I might have to cut back on a video every once in a while. I'm gonna do my best to keep them as many balls up in the air as I can. That's when you have the most fun, right? Is when you're doing 12 things at once. All right. If you like the video, why not leave a like? If you like what I've done so far, why not subscribe? That about does it for me. Just a reminder, next week I have a tent in the Edmonton Art Walk show. So if you're in town, why not drop by and give me a visit? Have an awesome week, everyone. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.